All right.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Happy Thursday. Thursday that feels like Sunday. Okay, I'm trying to see the best angle for everyone here. I think that's good. So are we ready, Gabby? Should we start?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, welcome everyone today for another episode of Cooking with Northgate. My name is Abril Chavarria. If you haven't met me, I am a chef that works with Northgate to bring you all fun and easy recipes from my Mexico querido. And so, yeah, today we are cooking carne en su jugo. And for some of you, you might not know what carne en su jugo is, but this is a dish traditionally from Jalisco, especially from Guadalajara. And over there is super famous and popular, but in here it might not be as popular, but if you know it, you know it. And it's one of those dishes that once you tried it, you will never want to stop eating it in your life. So if you have any questions today, let me tell you that my friend Gabby is on the other side of the screen and she is helping me co-host this class. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to type them in the text bubble and she will let me know. Also, if any of you are cooking with me today, please raise your hand and have Gabby know that you're cooking so I can take it like a little bit slowly. And if I have to go back for some instructions, please feel free to let me know. Well, if you have any questions again, you know what to do. Okay, Gabby, so what do you think we start this party right now? Let's go over the ingredients. So first, we are gonna need a lot of tomatillos. And I'm gonna give you the ingredients as we are moving forward with the recipe, because as you know, we only have like about an hour. So we wanna make sure all the parts of the recipe are cooked in time. So let's start with our salsa. Here, I have already boiling water. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook the tomatillos and the other vegetables to start preparing our salsa. Now, very fun fact. You can also make a salsa tatemada for this recipe. What does that mean? That means that you have a hot comal and you cook your vegetables first in the comal so they get charred and very, very delicious. Now for time purposes, we're not gonna do that. And it's always an option if you wanna do that in the future. But for now, we're just gonna cook them. We're gonna broil them. So I always use this tool to help me bring them if the water's already hot. So the recipe calls for 8 tomatillos, but I meant the big ones. Have you seen those also almost like a tomato sized tomatillos? So since we couldn't find those right now, I am using between 16 and 20 of the little ones, okay? You know, when you cook a tomatillo, it kind of disintegrates almost all of it. So you want to make sure you have like a consistent broth or salsa. So that's why I'm going to use more. Perfect. So my tomatillos are already there cooking. And then we also need half of an onion. Now I'm an onion freak, so I'm going to use a little bit more, but you can use half of it at least. Also, chile serranos, I'm gonna use 3. And here it depends how spicy you want your carne en su jugo. If you don't want it spicy at all, then don't use anything. Or 1 serrano, or probably 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. It's up to you. Garlic, between 4 to 6 garlic cloves. And that's it. We're just gonna leave it to cook here in the hot water and wait. Now, while we're waiting for this, we're gonna start cooking our tocino bacon. And so here I have a pound of bacon. And here I have my hot cazuela. This is a clay cazuela from Northgate as well. And I'm just gonna start cooking this. We don't need to add any oil because you know bacon releases naturally a lot of fat. So you don't need to add more fat. As soon as the bacon touches the hot surface, it's gonna start releasing all those, all that fat. So we don't need to add any more. I'm gonna increase the heat here. I'm cooking at medium high. Okay, this one is for this. And we're just gonna cook them until it's very crispy and yummy. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Since we're waiting for this to cook, I'm gonna go through the other ingredients. I have 2.5 pounds of meat here that we're gonna add to our recipe in a minute. Also, for the salsa, we need some oregano. So here is oregano. It's a pinch of oregano, a pinch of comino seeds, and a pinch of peppercorns. We're also going to reserve some of the cooking water that we are using here. And for the fixings, once our dish is ready, we have here some lime wedges, we have onion, we have cilantro, and we have sliced jalapenos. You can use jalapenos or serranos or nothing at all. Also, you wanna eat your carne and jugo with some tortillas. That will be very nice. And finally, the main special ingredient for this dish is some cooked beans with the broth. Okay, so do we have any questions, Gabby, so far?
Natalie just asked if you need to season the ceramic pot first.
Yeah, when you buy it, you usually want to season it with some oil, and that's it. But I do that one time. And then I just clean it with a damp cloth. I don't wash it. So yeah, so
thank you.
Yeah, you wash it when you bring it from the store, you wash it and then you allow it to dry and then you season it with some oil and then you wait like a few days and then you start cooking in it. But after that, you don't wash it again. Just like kind of wipe everything out.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you know, the flavors stay there. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like that. So every time you use it, more flavor adds to it. And that's why it's so tasty. It's like a Mexican memory cell, if you may.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer, you guys, so you can see how, you know, how the fat is starting to release to the pot. We are allowing that to happen. We actually are gonna cook the meat with that fat. We don't need oil in here or manteca or anything. The bacon is doing that for us. Any other questions, Gabby?
Nope, no questions right now.
Perfect. So this is the part that gets a little tedious because it's just waiting for everything to cook. But we can talk in the meantime. You have any questions about, we can talk about what other recipes you guys want to see happening in our upcoming cooking classes, right, Gabby?
Right, yeah, we're open to hearing what everyone wants to see.
Yeah. New ideas for cooking classes. I know that a lot of tamal classes are coming your way, guys, starting in a few weeks, right? I know I have 4 tamal classes. 4. See, 4.
Yes, it can't be Christmas without tamales.
Exactly, it's the season. It's the season for tamales.
Yes, I think the tamal that you made for Dia de Muertos looked so delicious.
Oh, well, actually, I'm doing that class. So we're doing those tamales in a class. Those were Oaxacan style mole tamales.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were so delicious. And it's a Oaxacan classic.
Yeah.
Guys, I apologize in advance if one of my kids like starts photobombing us. It doesn't happen as often, but I just want to make sure I say something before it happens. It's one of the perks of cooking at home or working from home, right?
Oh, Natalie just added that she loves mole.
Oh, I love mole as well. We actually had a class of mole from scratch one time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We can definitely do that again soon.
Yeah. No, I love your hacks. I think for a lot of moms, you know, a lot of us moms that are super busy and on the go, having that hack just makes a world of a difference.
Well, you know, I live off of hacks. I have because you still want the food. So I've put a lot of mind and work into finding ways to have food taste as good as the old-fashioned elaborate way, but just in a hack, like easy, fast, you can still enjoy the flavors and just like check it out of your schedule and be over with it. Because who wants the extra hustle, right? Who wants to be like 14 hours in the kitchen like our grandmas did? Oh no, ain't no time for that. Nobody got time for that, sisters. Okay, so this is cooking so nicely, guys, and I'm pretty sure that if you are a bacon lover, as I am, you will appreciate this moment that is happening right here.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah, everything's sizzling and coming together. Now let me show you the different sizes. So for all of you wondering how big do they have to be, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. I like a different variation, like smaller ones, and then I throw in a bit of the chunky ones here and there. I call them the special prices. Yummy. Okay. So we're moving forward. This looks nice. And so Natalie, after using your pot a lot of times, it's gonna change color and it's gonna get darker, but that's totally normal. I do recommend, guys, to go and get one of these clay pots. Clay pottery is originally from Hidalgo, Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like a huge culture over there to cook with these babies. And the food does taste so different when you're using it. Okay. Let's check on our tomatillos. Okay, still need a few minutes over here. But yeah.
And then for the bacon, is it any bacon you'd like or?
Well, I personally like the old-fashioned, thick-cut, big mama bacon, you know? But I like it with a lot of meat also. And for this recipe, I would recommend the one that is meatier and less fattier in a way, you know? Like the thick-cut one. Just because as this bacon integrates with the rest of the recipe, you want to be biting into chewy, thicker, meatier pieces.
Got it.
So that would be my recommendation for the bacon. Ay, qué bonito se está poniendo. And it's browning. And you know, guys, it's hard to cook a pound of bacon. Another hack for you, if you want to speed up this step, you can always bake it. You just place the strips in a cooking sheet and then about 15 minutes or even less, I'm gonna say like 10 minutes, or air fry it. And then your bacon is ready, but make sure you reserve the fat. So place it in a sheet that will not spill the fat because we use the fat to cook the rest of the recipe.
That's a great hack.
Okay, so this is starting to cook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get the bacon out for a little bit. So we start cooking our meat. We're gonna come back to this step in a few minutes, but for now, let's just pretend that this was a little bit browner. And then we just reserve it. It's already looking so delicious, but if you get it like más tostadito, a little better. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm listening to mariachi because I thought it was appropriate since we're cooking Guadalajara food to be listening to mariachi.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, now I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit. And I'm gonna turn this on for a little bit because there's a lot of there. Okay, now it's the turn for the meat. There we go. And so for this step, guys, we want to lower the heat because we want the meat to release all its juices. Ergo, the carne en su jugo, that means meat on its juices, in its juices, right? So we want the meat to start like releasing all its juguito. And the best way to do that is allow it to cook slowly. Okay. Any questions over there?
No questions yet.
No questions over here. So yeah, so first this meat is kind of searing into the fat of the bacon. It's searing very nicely. But once I give it a few stirs. So one way to help the juices be released is to add a little bit. So here is one of the tricks, guys. I add a little bit of the cooking broth from the tomatillos. Now, ideally, this broth was already been fully cooked, you know, all the tomatillos and the vegetables were cooking in there for a longer time. And so all these flavors are already being released into this broth. So you start the process there, adding just a little help. Like this. This is so yummy already. And I'm gonna show you in a minute what is happening in here. Let me show you. Oh, sorry about that. There you go. So as you can see here, there you go. Do you have a good view?
Yes.
So all that is the meat broth starting to release. Todo el caldo de la carne. And so that's what we're looking for in this recipe. There you go. I have this thing that moves. Hope you could get a good side. Perfect. Okay. So we keep moving constantly. Now, another thing I always tell you guys is to season every step that you're cooking, except for the bacon, because bacon usually has a lot of salt in it. But for the meat, we're gonna season with some salt. So you know, Mexican food is a lot like layers. You keep adding one layer after another, but make sure that each layer is being seasoned. Perfect. This is looking so yummy. Oh, Guadalajara, Guadalajara. Just in time. There you go. Okay. So let's bring back the bacon. If you want to use all the fat, go ahead and do it. I do it. And now, I'm gonna give it a nice stir. Allow it to release more of the juice, this tender meat. So what kind of meat do you want to buy? Any type of steak. I personally like this one with ribeye or sirloin, or even the milanesa. It has, you just make sure it's like a flat, nice steak. I like it with fat, but if you want to go leaner, you can ask for a more lean cut. Just make sure it's a steak, that it's thin.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so I guess it's time to move on. Let me bring my, let's see these beans. There we go. Yummy. Have my blender in here. So now make sure you use a blender, because last time when I was cooking the recipe for the pictures, I blended with a food processor and it didn't do the job well.
Okay.
So it has to be a blender in order to make sure that the caldito comes out without, you know, the little pieces that you don't want there.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna blend everything in here. Make sure you get all your garlic and onion, everything. We're reserving this broth in case we need it for, if you like a more brothier, loose carne en su jugo, then you have to add a little bit more of this. If you like it thicker, then not so much.
Okay.
I am gonna add a few spoons in here. There we go. Okay. Guadalajara, Guadalajara. Oh, wait. in this part is where we add the spices. Remember, it's a pinch of comino seeds, a pinch of oregano, and a pinch of peppercorns. And then we also add salt. We're gonna add about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That's it. So as you can see, I got a very smooth mix. No little pieces here or there. I sounded like a Dr. Seuss book. No little pieces here or there, no little pieces anywhere. Okay, guys, let's move forward. Yes.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh my God, it is so good. Okay, and you can smell el comino, a little bit of pepper going on in there, the oregano, everything mixing together in this almost soupy dish. I personally like it a little bit brothier, so I'm gonna add, oh, it's hot. Okay, give me a minute. Let's add a few more spoons here. And we are gonna add 2. There we go. Gonna move these to the other side. Okay, perfect. We have the kitchen for ourselves. There we go. Okay. So this is so nice. I'm loving it already, guys. Yummy. Okay, so the final ingredient that makes it like the hack of the hacks. If you know, you know, and not everyone likes this ingredient or wants to cook with this ingredient. Mexican food requires a lot of times this ingredient. And so you can always achieve what you're looking for without the consomme. But if you want to just have fun and eat some yummy food, then just do it. As little or as much as you want. For this dish, I will recommend the meat one, because after all, we're cooking meat.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons. And yeah. You know, some people are like, no, I don't wanna, they feel like this is cheating. I call it enhancing.
I love that.
But you totally don't, like, you don't need it to make it taste good. It's just like, if you don't want to be like struggling a lot and, oh, le falta sal, ay, le faltó poquito de esto, you know, you just like add it and you're good.
Perfect.
Yummy. Yes, and oh my gosh, guys, I wish you can smell this. Oh, so good. So we're gonna allow it to cook here. Ideally, it will have to cook here for about 20 minutes to 25 minutes in a medium to low heat. Obviously, because we don't have a lot of time, I'm gonna serve a little bit in a plate to show you how to plate it, okay?
Okay.
So you guys want to plate it in a bowl, just like this one. And the idea here is to get the meat a little bit of broth. Like this. And then you go all the way over to your bean pot. And then you add, oh, by the way, I cook these beans with a pasote and onion.
Oh, yum.
If you were wondering. So we add a spoon of beans, and you can add more broth or caldito on top of it, if that's how you like it. Okay, now we're gonna move all the way over here, guys, so I can show you how to add everything else. Okay, there you go. We move this over here. Oh, look, there's Molly. Do you see Molly, guys?
Yes.
Molly's like, oh, that smells good. Okay, guys, let me show you.
Whoa. We lost you.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I moved it. Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, we have our plate, and you can see how the beans and the meat and the bacon. Oh, my mouth is watering already. So they're all like mixed up in this delicious pool of flavor. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some onion. And this is like the main ingredients you want to top your carne en su jugo. Like wherever you go in Guadalajara to eat carne en su jugo, they're gonna have cilantro, cebolla, onion and cilantro, lime wedges. And this is my special touch, just because I love chile, as you could know, as you learned from earlier conversation. But yeah. And then you add some lime. And if you're feeling in the mood, you roll up some tortillas, and that's it. You got your carne en su jugo. Let's try it. Oh, it's so hot. Oh my gosh, just perfect, guys.
Oh, that was delicious, Avril.
Yes, it was a great hit. What do you think? Any questions?
Any questions, anyone?
Do you have any questions whatsoever before I start enjoying this delicious? No?
I don't think so. I mean, to be really honest with you, it was so straightforward, and I won't say easy, right? But it was something achievable for someone who's beginning to cook too. So
yeah, right? So easy. But you go to a restaurant, you sit down in the place, and you're like, this is not possible to be easy to cook, you know? But actually, basically all Mexican food is super easy to cook. It's just like knowing the detours.
Exactly. Yeah, which we were talking about earlier, right? Sometimes it's intimidating to have these traditional recipes.
Yeah.
How our grandmothers used to make them versus how we can make them now.
Exactly. And now we have the tools. Like we don't need a molcajete because we have a blender. We don't need like to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning to start cooking your frijoles because you have the the thing. So yeah, it's just a matter of knowing how to do it and being confident that you can do it too.
Yes, and we have Travis saying that it looks great.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for joining.
Yes, and Natalie says delicioso, yummy.
You know what, guys? I invite you to try it. It's so very delicious. I'm enjoying it. Well, if you have any more questions, please let us know. If not, I'm so glad you can join me today here with Gabby for another episode of Cooking with Northgate. We love to have you here. Please be aware that there's more cooking classes coming for you this season. There's a lot of tamal classes. There's another interesting recipes, right, Gabby, coming up from other from other home cooks like myself. So yeah, we have a great panel.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys are interested in some more of our classes, which Abril will also be hosting, please visit us at northgatemarkets.com.
Yeah. In the meantime, thank you for being here and spending your Thursday night with me. I'm flattered. I'm honored. Thank you all for joining, and see you next time. See you next time, Gabby.
Alrighty, take care, everyone, and Abril, thank you.
Bye.